peace and freedom. We claim to uphold the liberal tradition of the press of this city. For 25 years we've been crying in the wilderness to find a real candidate to crush the crooked Williams machine. Well, we got the right guy now. If he's not elected, it's your fault.
Thanks, Charlie. It's big of you.
All right. Let's put it this way. If he's not elected, it won't be my fault. Now, we're going to begin running a biography of him. He's perfect copy. Boy sells newspapers, night school stuff. Might have come out of Horatio Alger. Dig up all the material you can get. Stretch it out to run daily for 3 weeks. Right alongside, I'm going to run a biography of the Williams man. For contrast, Robert, your job will be easy. Dig out all the dirt you can get on J. Robert Slank.
Easy, I'll be suffocated.
You cover Williams' campaign headquarters. If you don't bring in a scandal today, I'll know you're spending your time in a gin mill.
So what? You know it anyway.
Get me Betty White. And be quick about it. I want to fire her. What do you mean again? She hasn't been fired this week.
Hey, the phone's ringing.
I'm out.
Yeah, you're out, all right. Out of your mind.
I must have been to have married you.
Oh, now look, Betty, I didn't mean anything. I just took her to lunch.
That's all. Last week you just took someone to dinner.
Well, how did you... I didn't think you'd care. Just a harmless little dinner.
Harmless. It had to be paid for, didn't it? And at Pierre's. Couldn't you have bought her a harmless hot dog?
Is it my fault I can't get a job?
There's one. Close that.
Oh, Betty, you don't understand. You're away at the office all day. I have nothing to do. Look out, that's my cane. Oh, Betty, you can't do this to me after all we've meant to each other.
Which one of these is mine? Oh, it doesn't matter. I'm starting a new life.
If you leave me now, I'll commit suicide.
Poison is on the second shelf of the medicine chest.
But where are you going?
So you can send me the bill? Not on your life. Hello? Good? Betty. Yeah, I just came out of a 2-year tailspin.
You mean you're finally leaving that good provider? Well, it's about time. Sure you can move in here. There's plenty of room.
I'll check in at the office, Gert, and then I'll come over. I may go away for a week or two. Sort of a mental shampoo to get Freddie out of my hair. All right, sis. I'll see you soon.
You can't walk out of me like this without warning. What am I going to do? What about the rent?
Oh, Freddie, you're just no good. I've tried awfully hard, but making a man out of you is going to take a better woman than I am.
So this is what I get.
Oh, Freddie, don't give me that routine about the best years of your life. Why, you're very young and attractive. I'm sure you'll find another benefactress.
Never mind the smart chatter. Who's the man?
There isn't any.
What about a divorce?
Stop working and save up for it. I'm not interested. All I want is to get rid of you. I've had enough of marriage. Transfer men will call for my things this afternoon.
She's out.
She's out.
And keep trying. Call her sister. Call them all. Call anybody you like, but get her here. Who does she think she is, anyway? She can't get away with this. I'll show her. Well, are you quitting? Haven't you got anything to do?
Here's your Martin editorial, Mr. Collins. We'll be ready to run as soon as you write me ahead.
Write you ahead?
Yes.
You need one fastened to your shoulders. Okay, roll it.
It isn't bad enough to have opposition like Martin, but now we got to fight the Daily News over it.
Martin won't get anywhere, Chief.
Oh, enough of it, sir. Who's going to stop him? You fellas?
Slank's not going to stand around all day doing nothing, is he?
Well, he's never done anything yet. Why should he start now? It's up to me, like everything else in this town. Well, there's always a way. Back to work.
Are you okay, these posters, Mr. William?
Okay.
Will you sign these, please, Mr. Williams?
Get out of here. This is John Williams. Give me Rand. Don't bother to see. Just put him on.
Mr. Randall, John Williams is on the phone.
John Williams? You mean the John Williams?
Yes, sir.
I'll take that inside.
Well, good morning, Mr. Williams. This is quite an honor. What can I do for you?
You can meet me at Dinty's at 1:45.
Well, I'd like to, Mr. Williams, very much, but I have an important client coming. Sure, I'll have him wait. 1:45. Okay. All right, boys, come on in. Make it snappy. I got an important date.
See where Mickey Mullins took it to a 10 count at the fights last night?
Yeah, what about it?
Well, if his trainer hasn't pumped the dope out of him yet, they're still counting over him.
The dirty crooks.
I was real indignant.
You get a hold of those two boys and tell them I'm very unhappy. I thought they had a right guy, and I put $20,000 on him to win. And I won't settle for a nickel less. Cash in 24 hours, or we give the sports writers a yarn they can get their teeth into.
Okay, boss.
Well, Eagle Eye?
Night clerk at the Bedford let me have this carbon of her registration. Recognize the name?
Smith. Sounds familiar. Mr. and Mrs. James Smith.
Only it was Alec Trent. Funny how guys forget their names, ain't it?
Yeah. Never mind, Swanson. Have our attorneys, Waters and Johnson, send Mr. Trent a photostatic copy of that. It might refresh his memory.
Okay, Randy.
Well, Sniff, what are you so happy about?
Look, boss, it worked. Say, boss, do you know Vance Metric, president of the Northside Bank?
And I guess I do now.
Well, that ain't Mrs. Metric.
Oh, this is terrible. Even if his wife is an invalid and doesn't understand him. Tell you what you do. You watch for Mr. Metric's homecoming and see if he wants that touched up in it.
I get it, boss.
Lunch back at 3.
Oh, Mr. Randall, you have an appointment at 2:30 with that Mr. Murdoch.
Well, can't our Mr. Waters or Mr. Johnson take care of it?
Which one are you now?
Me? Right now, I'm Randy Randall. I'm away to lunch with a big shot. At Murdoch Way. Well, Mr. Williams, what can the Randall service do for you?
You run a dirty little racket, Randall. I've been wise to you for a long time. So, I'll let you go on because that's my system.
Well, Mr. Williams, I always figured I could do something for you.
You're just what I figured. That's why you're still open. I don't suppose you know anything about politics.
Well, I'm kept pretty busy with other things. But you have a fine candidate in J. Robert Slank.
Sure, but there's a guy just been nominated to run against him who's going to give us a little trouble. Martin. George Martin. We got to get something on him right away.
Not that guy, Mr. Williams. I bumped into him once in court.
I've been bumping into him myself too much lately.
Then you know he's dynamite.
Yeah. I'm setting a fuse to him. We're going to blow that bird right out of the campaign.
We?
That's where you come in.
Well, there's nothing you can get on a guy like that. He's too careful.
Anything else, gentlemen?
Oh, thanks.
I know there's nothing on him. Do you think I'd come to you if I thought there was? You're going to put something on him, you know. Something sensational. That'll discredit him once and for all.
I don't like the idea.
No, it isn't nice. Neither is anything else you do, Mr. Waters. Or is it Mr. Johnson? Or maybe a Mr. Randall right now.
You're no Lily yourself if it comes to that.
No, but I'm a pretty big whatever I am, and you wouldn't even be a little one if I'd bothered with you. If Martin's elected, he'll bother plenty. If he's licked without your help, Slank will take care of it. Now, do you like the idea any better?
Well, Mr. Williams,
Okay, get busy. And make it quick.
I don't care where she isn't. I want to know where she is. If somebody doesn't find Betty White, I'll fire them.
Now, Collins, don't get excited.
Who's excited? Now, look here, Simmons. I'm not trying to manage Martin's campaign. That's your job, and you can have it. But when it comes to his publicity, leave that to me. I know what they go for, whether it's a dog catcher or a governor.
But Martin feels he can approach the woman's vote on the basis of the real issues at stake. He's against stunts. Thinks they're cheap.
Now, let me do the thinking about that end, will you?
Yes, but I warn you, Charlie, he won't go for any of your obvious stuff.
What obvious stuff?
You know, kind to animals, kissing babies, good to his wife. Remember, he hasn't got a wife.
Well, that's not my fault. Now, don't you worry. He'll like the way we're going to handle it.
Excellent.
Oh, so she left her house this morning, did she? Well, you leave the paper tonight. And when I catch that rambling reporter,
Hello. I heard you were looking for me.
What an ear for rumors. Sit down. You must be tired, little girl. Did you come from afar?
What's on your mind?
Oh, nothing much. Just a great big assignment, that's all.
Look, Charlie. Only $140 round trip to Bermuda. This is the best time of year down there, isn't it?
Did you hear what I said?
Yes. Did you hear what I said?
What are you talking about?
In my own quaint way, I was trying to tell you I'm going to take a little trip.
Trip? Are you out of your mind?
Out of mind and out of sight as soon as possible. Look, Charlie, I'm fed up with everything. I need a vacation.
Of course you do. After all, you've been working pretty hard. Only not right now.
Why not? Now's when I need it. Say, it only costs a few dollars more to go to the Bahamas. Do you think it's worth it?
Look here, you ingrate. You've been with this paper 5 years. I nursed you through the bottle stage to where you're almost a good reporter. If you pull out on me now, I'll throw you out on your ear.
Oh, maybe I'll go to Bermuda after all. What's the difference? Bermuda or the Bahamas?
Betty, aside from the loyalty you owe the paper and me, there's a greater obligation you owe to your own profession. Honey, this is the biggest assignment you ever had.
Shady palms, coral beach, sparkling surf.
I'll tell you what. If you handle this job for me, I'll give you a month's vacation with pay. Bermuda, Europe, any place you like. Anything you want.
Yeah? What's the assignment?
We're going to put George Martin over for DA, and it's up to you.
Why me?
Because you're a woman. All Martin lacks is imagination enough to know what women go for. He's all dignity and sincerity, and we can't put him over without the women's vote.
And then I get my vacation with pay?
My hand on it.
Your signature on it. I want it in writing.
You mean you don't trust me?
Oh, I do, Charlie. But you see, the steamship companies won't.
All right. Now, do you like your assignment any better?
Better. I'd have taken this assignment for nothing, you sucker.
I want to get a copy of this list of contributors to the campaign fund. I want to issue it to the press. That's one list of citizens we don't have to keep in the dark. So I want you to get one of these in every store window on Main Street.
Oh, Mr. Simmons.
Yes?
The West Side Woman's Club wants Mr. Martin to speak there Friday night.
Well, he won't. You know that. Make some excuse. Tell them we'll send Miss Alice McDonald. You'll take care of it, won't you, Miss McDonald?
Oh, I'd be delighted.
I knew we could depend on you.
So they're going to send him to the reform school, Mr. Martin. And honestly, he's an awfully good boy.
You've been playing hooky from school 2 and 3 times a week, haven't you?
Yes, sir. Ever since his mother died, he's been helping to support me.
See, Mr. Martin, if I don't get to the corner with the early afternoon editions, some other kid gets there ahead of me. Then I can't sell enough papers.
I see. And you have to be in juvenile court at 10 tomorrow?
Yes, sir.
I'll meet you there.
Oh, thank you so much, Mr. Martin.
But in the meantime, you go back to school.
Yes, sir.
But, George, you can't do that. What about your speech to the Better Businessmen's Association tomorrow at 10:30?
Yeah, but this is important.
But you can send someone else from the office.
No, I'll go.
Oh, no, please, George.
I hope I'm not intruding.
What can I do for you?
Not a thing, thank you. It's what I can do for you. My name is White, Betty White. How do you do, Mr. Martin?
How do you do?
I'm from the Daily News. I suppose Charlie Collins has mentioned me. I'm going to attach myself to you for a while.
Oh, yes, I seem to remember. He did mention you. Collins thinks that Miss White will be of great service in the stimulating the interest of women voters. I'll leave you two to discuss it.
The only message I have for women voters upon which you may quote me is that there will be an end to crooked politics and rackets in this city if they elect me.
Yes. I'm sorry, but that won't do at all.
Why not?
It's right out of a book. How to Make a Political Speech. Lesson 8, page 2.
Are you going to tell me how to run for office?
Of course not, Mr. Martin. I'm only going to help. You must do more than make speeches, though. We want reasons to print a story and a picture of you every day.
Now, let's get this straight. I won't stand for any cheap sensationalism. An honest district attorney will be a sensation in itself.
If elected.
Well, that's up to the people.
Of course it is, but we can help. You've got to have the women vote. Show them something to make them interested in you. Some human interest pictures and stories.
I know you mean well, Miss White, but I won't have any sob stuff, and I don't like kissing babies.
Not even pretty babies?
Now, look here, I don't want to be rude, but I'm running this campaign.
You want to be elected, don't you?
Of course I do, in a decent, honest way.
All right, that settles it. We're going to run pictures and stories of you every day until election.
Not if I have anything to say about it.
All right. Have it your own way.
I will.
This is a good one. Have it your way.
A couple of Panatellas.
Will you hold him just a minute, please? I feel faint.
Have it your way.
It says here in the paper, 98 cents a pair. That's what I want to see.
Oh, them.
Oh, look. What a nice baby. Yes, isn't he?
My reputation is based on the work I've been doing in this city for the past 10 years. Kissing babies, picking up bundles.
But, Martin, let me assure you it means thousands of votes.
I wouldn't want votes that way if it made me king of Siam. Now listen, you sensation seeker. If you and that girl don't lay off me, I'll get on the front page of every paper in town for manslaughter. I mean woman slaughter.
Offhand, I'd say he's annoyed.
Offhand, I'd say it'd be too bad if you're ever up for trial and he's district attorney.
Why me?
He'd give you life for this cheap, undignified publicity.
It's all your fault. Haven't I given you a free hand? Look, will you come out from under those palm trees?
I'm on the beach.
Well, dust off the sand and get busy. What's Martin's program?
Speech. The West Side Women's Club. If I can get him to go.
You'd better. I've got to have a full column to run alongside that slank yarn. McMillan is over at Williams now. So come through with something.
It'll probably be a broken neck, but I'll come up with it.
And so you see, dear ladies, there is something more to this election than merely ridding our fair city of criminals. As my father used to say when I was a young girl,
What a memory.
we must fight to protect civic... we must fight to protect civic virtue. That's still true. But today, we must fight for our personal protection. I should like to feel confident that I could walk through the streets of our city at night, meet a man like George Martin. Remember, on election day, when you go to the polls, it is your duty to vote for a man like George Martin.
Hello? This is one of the volunteer workers in George Martin's campaign headquarters. Is this the Progressive Youth Club?
Come on, Swanson. What do you got?
Well, we're progressing wonderfully. Yes, I'd like to bring some campaign material and some campaign buttons to your headquarters this evening, if you'll wait.
Good morning.
Good morning. Lovely day, isn't it?
I hadn't noticed. I've been very busy.
So I see. Well, don't let me disturb you.
Now, look here, Miss White. We've got to come to an understanding. This publicity nonsense must stop.
Have it your own way.
Well, I've had it my way. Now let's have it ours. Do you really believe that this stuff is good publicity?
Oh, of course it is. It's swell. I know you think it's undignified. But to newspaper readers, it's human. You're doing everything to cut your throat politically. Sending out that frost-faced vote chaser.
Miss McDonald is a volunteer worker. I'm very grateful for her assistance.
Assistance? She couldn't frighten them away any quicker if she bit them. Women's votes are just as important as men. They're citizens, too, you know. And they're entitled to personal contact with their candidates.
Well, I can't be everywhere.
But you can be at the meeting tonight. It's at Mrs. Anderson's. They're expecting you.
I don't know what to say to a flock of women.
But I do.
Then you make the speech.
There won't be a flock. Only the most important leaders and the most important clubs. I'll write the speech, and you make it. And remember, they're human just like men. There's no reason for you to be stiff and scared. Be human. Firm up a little. Unbend.
Well, I'm afraid I can't make it tonight.
But you must. You've got to.
Well, I don't have to, and I won't. And as wives and mothers, this is your city as well as your husband's. Your children's wholesome, healthy upbringing must be safeguarded. The homes you make must be safe. And you ladies in businesses and professions, you come in daily contact with the government of this city. You know what you want, what you need. You know that this is your city as well as any man. If I'm elected district attorney, and you want something, don't hesitate to ask for it. I shall be ready to serve you at all times.
Oh, Mr. Martin, that was wonderful. Thank you so much for coming.
Well, if we're to ask for what we want, Mr. Martin, I shall start right now. Come to my house for cocktails Saturday afternoon. There'll be quite a few prospective voters there.
I'll be glad to meet them.
I shall expect you Sunday at 3 if you're not too busy.
I'm never too busy. Of course I'll be there. Well, thank you very much. Have I another appointment?
Well, you did invite me to dinner. You said you'd need something strengthening after this. Well, I'm hungry.
Oh, I'm sorry. Well, how did I do? Was I human? Did I warm up?
You were sizzling.
Well, you certainly were right.
About what?
About the women's vote. All the things you said this morning. I've been very stupid. Of course they're entitled to personal contact.
They seem to think so, too.
It did go over rather well, didn't it? And to think I owe it all to you.
That's what I was thinking.
Now, really, Betty, or Miss White, I would like to do something to show my appreciation.
Look. Pull over. George, Mr. Martin, stop them. Don't let that man beat her.
I thought you were through with these silly stunts.
This isn't a stunt. Do something. Don't sit there and let that woman be beaten to death.
I refuse to interfere with your employees making an honest living.
Oh.
I didn't mean to hurt you.
Don't fight. You like your own business. He's my husband.
What's going on here? Come on, come on. Go on.
A fine woman candidate you are.
Pretty bad performance, Betty. You should have had another rehearsal.
I told you I didn't stage it.
Well, we'll discuss it at supper.
No, thank you. I've suddenly lost my appetite. If you don't mind, I think I'll walk home.
Have it your way. Go ahead, Henry.
Hey, boy.
For you, Mr. Collins.
Collins speaking. Oh, yes, Simmons. Yeah. What are you talking about? No Martin news? We printed last night's speech in full. Huh? Oh, dates. Oh, yeah. Well, all right. I'll ask Betty White. Yeah, I'll ask Betty White. Yes. I'll ask Betty White. Hey, Betty White. Betty White? Where's Betty White? Oh, Betty. Simmons has just been phoning. Isn't there any more Martin stuff?
Look on your desk.
It's all right, Betty. You've done a swell job, and you deserve a rest.
I'm leaving tomorrow.
Fine. After all, Martin's got some prominent society women to sponsor him now. They'll do the job.
Why shouldn't they?
And we may as well admit they'll do a better job than you with their connections.
What's wrong with my connections?
That one's a beauty. Over with a bang. I didn't know Martin had it in him.
Your flourishing candidate had nothing to do with it, nor with anything else I'm going to do. I'm leaving, see? I'm through.
You're killing me.
All ready? Who's coming to the meeting?
There you are, Mr. Martin.
Come on, man.
Here's your throwaway. Here's your load. And here's yours.
Oh, thanks, Swanson. You're right on the job.
That's me, boss. Hope you hand it out to them Williams heels in your spiel tonight.
I'll have to get you to help me write speeches.
Write 'em. You ought to get me to make 'em. Ain't you blowing the whistle, Mackie?
I beg your pardon.
Knocking off. It's time for little boys and girls to go home.
I have still 2 precincts to check.
Oh, come on. Tell you what, I'll set you up to a real fee.
You're very kind, but I must finish my work.
Well, I gotta hand it to you. I never seen anybody work like you. Writing and phoning, make speeches and...
No more speeches. That's all over.
No. You don't tell me.
I seem to have been shouldered aside. But of course I'm not running for office.
Say, you sure hit it. You'd think that white dame was running, wouldn't you? Say, that's a good one. She's running for DA. Get it? You know, running after the DA.
Why, Mr. Swanson, that's not very nice of you to gossip. Although I must say it was not very discreet of Mrs. White.
Mrs.?
Why, of course, a married woman. I met her and her husband before she first came here. But of course, as far as I'm concerned...
What do you know about that? Say, you sure you won't have some Java?
Oh, thank you.
Well, I gotta beat it. I got a date. Then she spills it that the white dame is married, see?
That's just the line we've been looking for. Tony, that's your assignment. Go to the missing husbands department.
Name's White. I'll find him. Mr. White?
What do you want?
Ah, it's a nice little joint.
Hey, what's the idea?
Can always tell when a woman's touch is missing. My name's Baxter. I represent Watterson Johnson attorneys. I got some good news for you. Yeah? What? Get your hat and coat and come on down to the office. You're about to inherit some dough. What? Say, did my uncle finally die? Well, something like that. At the right time, too. Been pretty tough going since your wife left you, hasn't it?
Say, you know everything.
I tell you, this Martin's cleaning up the town. Everywhere you go, that's all you hear. Martin. He's got to be stopped, Randall, and you're going to do it, or else.
I've covered every minute of his life, 24 hours a day. Even got a guy planted in his office. Why, his record's so clean, it's enough to make you suspicious by itself.
Oh, we knew that before we started.
Well, we're getting somewhere. Lately, he's been running around with a good-looking dame from the Daily News.
Have you tried to get to her?
No, that'd be suicide. We're working on another angle. And if it goes through...
Go around with Mr. White's here, babe. I don't care how you do it or what you do, but it's got to be done quick.
Yes? Oh, fine. Have him wait a minute. Well, Mr. Williams, I think it's going to be all right. Have someone outside right now. Oh, better go this way. Oh, Mr. Williams, better take a key to this office, 1101. Our private entrance. No one will see you. Come in, Mr. White.
Well, what's this all about? Is there any inheritance?
Well, in a manner of speaking, yes. Won't you sit down? Tell me, you're a married man, aren't you?
Well, I guess so, but we're not living together.
But you're not divorced.
No.
Do you know that your wife has been running around with a man by the name of Martin, with him practically every day?
I don't get you.
You can start suit for alienation of affection.
Now, look, wait a minute. What business is this of yours?
That happens to be just what our business is. You see, Mr. White, when a woman is making a fool of her husband, we see that she pays off, or somebody does.
Oh, I see. Well, we're separated, and she has the right to do as she pleases.
Sit down, White. Tell me, didn't you used to live in San Francisco?
Well, what if I did?
And 6 months before you were married, you left there in a hurry.
You can't prove anything.
I don't want to prove anything. I just happen to know of a couple of boys out there who were very anxious to locate you.
Okay. What do you want me to do?
Well, that's better, Mr. White. Much better. You see, you're very much in love with your wife and heartbroken because the happiness of your home life is being undermined.
It's going to be kind of tough to prove.
You don't have to worry about that. You supply the signature. We supply the proof.
Every district in town. We'll sum them all up. They're all yelling for more posters and literature.
Oh, I'm very sorry, but every moment of his speaking time is taken up.
He may be able to give you 15 minutes next Wednesday night, but I doubt it.
Every night school. Even Slank's own district. He's in, I tell you. Nothing short of a miracle can stop him. He's in.
Well, if he's really in, I should like to speak with him.
Oh, hello, Miss White. Oh, I'm sorry, but you can't go in there just now. He's busy working on a speech that he must deliver. And he doesn't want to be disturbed.
Oh, he's used to my disturbing him.
But I assure you, he's very busy.
Mr. Martin's residence? Oh, how do you do, Miss White?
And Mr. Martin told me to phone you and have you pack a bag. He's going to his cabin for the weekend. Yes, he's pretty tired and he needs a rest. I know he has a dinner date. It's with me and I'm breaking it. Bring the bag up right away, Henry. Thanks.
Say, what is this, anyway?
Well, nothing. I only...
You only decided that I'm incompetent to look after myself and that you do it for me.
Really?
Oh, yes. You not only know all about political campaigns and publicity and what women like, now you've reached the stage where you know what I like. Now you've gone a little bit too far. Here, where are you going?
You can't keep me here. Let go of me.
Oh, I will not.
I don't have to stay here. I did not have anything to do with this campaign or with you either. My paper sent me.
Well, I know, Betty. I'm sorry for the way I spoke.
You are not. You're just like every other man. You resent everything that's done to help you.
No, really, I don't.
You do. All right, run your old campaign. Let Miss McDonald handle the woman's end for you because I'm through.
Now, Betty. I apologize. I'm all tired out. My nerves are frazzled. I wasn't responsible for losing my temper.
So you are tired.
Well, you saw me catch 6 winks.
And you do need a vacation.
But there's so much to do. Meetings to address.
That's not the point. You ought to get away, a rest, away from these telephones and meetings and women. I thought you might like to go to your lodge for a few days. All right. I was wrong. I'm sorry. Now, will you please let go of my hand? Who started this, anyway?
Charles Collins. Not such a bad editor at that. Boy, you know the only reason I'm doing this.
Sure, to get away from me for a few days.
Right.
Well, I'll enjoy the vacation, too. Have a good rest.
I will. Oh, and give my regards to Collins.
Hail him.
Hey, I thought you were in bed hours ago.
I couldn't sleep.
Well, how about me? What are you doing, rewriting the Constitution?
I got a swell idea for one of Martin's speeches.
What do you want to do? Have me thrown out of the apartment? At least there's no Victrolas, pianos, or typewriters to be played after 10 o'clock.
Well, if you do get thrown out, I know a swell place where you can play until 11.
Betty, you know that vacation you were talking about?
Yeah.
You'd better forget Bermuda and hit straight for Reno. That guy Martin's caught more than your vote, baby.
Not me.
I'll say this for you, once bit, but never shy.
Will you go to sleep? Hello? Who? Henry? Well...
I'm phoning from the village, miss. Mr. Martin wants you to come out to the lodge immediately. It's very important, miss.
There, Henry, you sound nervous and worried.
I am extremely worried, Miss White. It's very simple, miss. If you follow the state highway, it's the first dirt road to the right as you leave Marysville.
Where's the fire? Can you imagine that, Gardner? 1 o'clock in the morning. I won't go. Who was it? Martin. Something important happened and can't tell me over the phone.
Could it be that the moon's out and it's a swell night for speech making?
I won't go. Who does he think he is, ordering me about? I'm not working for him. Drive 40 miles on a night like this just because he snaps his fingers. He's crazy.
It's a little cold out. You'll find the coat in the closet.
I don't want it. He'll find out. I wouldn't drive out there tonight for anybody.
Anybody here?
Well,
No, Henry. Where were you?
this isn't Henry. And you know darn well where I was. In bed. A fine reception, I must say.
Well, what's the idea?
That's what I'd like to know. Say, wait a minute. Did you have Henry call me? Well, go ahead. Say it.
Very strange, isn't it?
Very.
I thought you were the only one who knew where I was.
Did you have Henry call me?
Did he?
Ask him. Instead of standing there looking like a district attorney. I'll find out what happened.
No, you won't. You probably know too much about it already.
Hey, I understand.
Nice work, boys.
Thanks.
What are these?
Alienation papers. You said to get White to sign them and we'd fill in the details. We did.
See who that is, will you, Tony?
Hello. Who? Just a minute.
William. See you later, Nip.
Okay, boss.
Well, come on. What's going on? You've been stalling now for over a week.
Well, it's just tough luck, Mr. Williams. Yeah, we haven't had a decent break. No, nothing definite yet. Don't worry. You have my word of honor.
Yeah? Well, that changes the situation entirely.
We'll have something in a couple of days. We have a few hot leads. Okay, Mr. Williams.
Leave. We got enough here to ruin that guy in 24 hours.
That's just exactly the reason we can wait 24 hours before we do it. And so can Williams. You see, Tony, Williams is sort of a cheap guy. We're not getting a nickel out of this deal from him.
Oh, goodwill job, huh?
Yeah, so what's to stop us from getting to Martin first? You know, sort of a little private affair on the side.
Yeah,
Oh, come to life, will you? It's simple. After we shake Martin down, we'll turn all this stuff over to Williams.
Sure, Andy. Except it'd be just too bad if Williams ever hears of this double cross.
Don't use that word. I don't like it.
Okay. What do you want me to do?
Get hold of White. Ship him out of town. Tell him to stay away till he hears from us.
What about Martin?
He's already taken care of. We'll be hearing from him. I sent him one of our Waters and Johnson letters.
Circle 6200. Yes, this is Waters and Johnson. Who? Mr. Martin. Just a moment and I'll connect you with Mr. Randall.
I don't want to speak to any Mr. Randall. Give me either Mr. Waters or Mr. Johnson.
Yes, sir. I'll give you Mr. Randall.
Good morning, Miss White. Good morning.
Good morning, Miss White.
Is he in?
Oh, hello, Miss White. Yes. You know, I think it was a mistake for him to have gone away on that weekend. He looks worse now than he did before he went away.
That's too bad.
Well, if that's the only way possible. All right, I'll be there at 8 o'clock.
I've sounded out all the boys in the opposition papers. None of them know anything about it. Oh, I can't believe it. No, he couldn't have stooped that low. It's impossible.
I don't recall your ever having told me you were married.
You never are. Anyway, what difference does it make?
Well, no difference at all, as you can see.
Promise me one thing. Don't do anything about this until I've seen Freddie.
I'm afraid it's a little late for that, thanks.
I can stop it. I know I can. Or let me handle this mess.
If you're no better at handling them than you are getting into them, I'll do better alone.
Oh, no, you don't. Why did you do it, Freddie? All right. Never mind the whys. You're capable of anything, I suppose. But you're going to undo it.
I didn't want to do it, Betty. I didn't know anything about it. I didn't care about the money. I hadn't even heard of the guys.
They just came up here looking for you, I suppose.
Yes, that's exactly what happened. You can believe it or not, but it's the truth. I don't know who they are or how they found out, but... Well, they got something on me.
What?
Never mind, something you don't know about. But they really got me in a spot. A case of Martin or me. I didn't want to hurt you, I swear I didn't.
You haven't hurt me. I'm not important in this.
You must believe me. I didn't want to smear your good name.
My good name. Why, it hasn't been worth a nickel since the day it was changed to white. You've become a partner in one of the filthiest rackets known to mankind. If you've a spark of conscience left in you, you'll never be able to spend a penny of the money they give you. Even pickpockets and safe blowers wouldn't be seen with your kind.
I tell you, I couldn't help it. They blackjacked me into it.
Well, you're going to blackjack yourself out of it, and you're going to do it before 8 o'clock tonight.
Okay, Betty. I'll try. I'll do something. I promise.
Never mind the promises. I want the picture, the negative, and the papers that you signed up there. And if you don't make them call it off, I'll bring you to court. I'll prove you were one of that extortion ring. You may ruin Martin's career, but you'll spend a long time in jail being sorry.
I told you I'd try.
Hey, look! Why don't you take it in there? The boss loves paper dolls.
Say, is that my true hot story?
How do you know? He can't read. Thought I told you something. What are you doing here?
I gotta see Mr. Randall right away.
No, you don't. You gotta catch a train and get out of town. I don't want to have to tell you again.
Now, wait a minute. Maybe I will and maybe I won't. But first, I gotta see Randall.
Say, you ain't trying to pull a shakedown on us, are you?
Shut up, slap happy.
Bring him in, Tony. Sit down.
I just wanted
You
to...
heard him. Sit down.
Weren't you told to leave town?
Yeah, sure.
Well, what are you doing here?
I changed my mind.
Oh, you did, huh?
Yes.
Well, I'm the one who gives orders for changes around here.
Shakedown, boss. I met crooks
All
like
right,
him.
quiet, you. You've been drooling?
I don't know what you mean.
Come on, open up. You been talking to anybody?
No, I swear I haven't.
Well, what's the idea?
I just don't want to go through with it, that's all. I've changed my mind.
Well, if you can change your mind so easily, maybe the boys can help you change it back. Take him inside and convince him.
No! Let me go! I said let me go!
George, don't go up there, please.
I thought I told you.
I know you did, but you can't allow anything to happen.
Does it occur to you that it has happened?
Not yet. You're not going to be incriminated.
I am incriminated.
I'm trying to tell you, not yet. My husband is up there now.
Fine. I want to speak to that gentleman.
11, please. You're getting too quick, Tony. Much too quick. What was the idea?
I'll bring him to and then try to reason with him.
Couldn't you call me?
I made a break for the door, said he's going to call the cops.
Well, why didn't you grab him?
I thought...
Yeah, you thought. Well, you're going to think once too often with that finger of yours, Tony.
I'd like to see Mr. Waters and Mr. Johnson.
They're both gone for the evening, but Mr. Randall's here. What is your name, please?
Martin.
Oh, yes, Mr. Martin. Mr. Randall's expecting you.
No, we've got to find a better way.
Freight elevator man goes off duty about now.
All right, get busy. Yes? Wait a minute. You'll have to do it later. Send him in. Cover that door. And you, keep your hand out of your pocket. Good evening. Well, Mrs. White, this is an unexpected pleasure.
It's all yours.
Won't you sit down?
Let's get to the point, Randall. How much do you want?
I can assure you that my client feels very badly about this.
He's going to feel worse before I'm through with him. How much do you want?
Well, I think 10,000 would cover it nicely.
Didn't my husband come up here and retract everything he said?
Not to my knowledge.
But I'm sure he did, because I was waiting for him downstairs.
Well, Mr. Martin, what about it? The price of the picture and the signed statements by Mr. White is $10,000.
That's a lot of money.
Isn't that something of an insult to the young lady?
Cut it, you mugs!
Get back. No, the price is $15,000. And I want it here before 12 o'clock tomorrow.
I'll see what I can do.
You'd better, or I'll have that picture on the front page of every paper in town. And the alienation suit is going to make nice hot reading.
How do we know if you'll keep quiet if we do give you the money?
You'll have to take my word for it. When you kick in, I'll give you the picture and the statements.
That's not enough. When I bring that money tomorrow, I want Freddie White here. I'll have a notary public along and statements for you and White to sign denying the authenticity of that or any similar picture. Also a statement that every accusation made in the alienation of affection suit is false. Now, if we're going to do this thing, we're going to do it right. You have Freddie White here.
I'm not sure that Mr. White wants to see you.
I don't suppose he does, but he's got to. Come on, Betty.
Well, are you satisfied? That rod of yours is... Give it to me.
Did you notice the way they looked at each other when you mentioned Freddie? I know he came up here, George. What could have happened to him?
That's what we're going to find out. Williams, what's he doing here?
Hey, you. Call Randall. Wake up, deadhead. Tell Randall I'm here.
So that's the setup. Waters and Johnson. Williams and Randall. Don't, George. Why not? I'll have a showdown with Williams and make him fight in the open. Either he's afraid to answer or he's gone through to the other office. I'll go around to the regular entrance.
Wait a minute. I've got an idea.
We tried to put the squeeze on him, and he bumped himself off. Why don't you get him out of here? Well, that's not so easy to do.
What do you want us to do? Drop him out a window and hit a cop on the head?
We were waiting for everybody to get out of the building and then figured on taking him down in the freight elevator and over to the river.
You liar. Trying to play at both ends from the middle, huh?
No, Williams, honest. I was just going to call you on the phone. I wouldn't do anything.
All right, never mind that. I'll take care of these. You get rid of that body.
We'll have to wait a little while. Janitor and the cleaning woman don't leave until 11. When they've gone, one of us will go down and talk to the night watchman. The others can take him out the back door.
And so you see, when Mr. Waters and I left this evening, we forgot some important papers. And I haven't a key. So do you mind if we go in?
No, miss. Thank you, miss.
Thanks.
You wait here.
What is it?
You can't come in here.
Why not?
Well, never mind that now.
Freddie?
I'll phone the police. Operator, get me Central Police Station. Quick.
Throw him in the rubbish bin in the basement.
I'll do it.
Police headquarters? Sergeant, listen carefully. I'm calling from 1101.
There's a guy in there. I gotta get out of here. It's too late. He probably saw you come in. Cover the other entrance. Come on. Stay where you are. Get out, Freddie! Hold a step. Lady, I hate to do this to you.
West End Jewelry Company, 1120 Croft Street.
Right. Okay.
A fine predicament for the Honorable Mr. Martin. This photograph, a signed deposition by Mr. White, and then this. You tried to buy off White, get back the photograph, and make him call off the suit. And when he refused to do it, you murdered him. And my district attorney will prosecute.
That's fine, Williams. And when I produce Randall's letter signed by Watterson Johnson, a pair of mythical lawyers, and Mrs. White testifies that you're connected with this extortion racket, it'll be about all the evidence I need. Go ahead, expose me. It'll be a double exposure and the end of your control of this town.
You got the gun, boss. Polish him off and get it over with.
The elevator shaft. Ought to be a good way out. What do you think?
Yeah. Johnny.
You get your Jimmy and pry open the elevator door.
Go on. Make it snappy. All right, you two. Get out.
Nice story for your paper, Mrs. White. Double suicide.
Go on. Keep moving.
Just a minute.
I promised you a trip to Europe. You earned it. Keep it. Consider it a wedding present.
I can't have you paying for my wife's honeymoon.
Of course not, George.
Have it your own way. You sucker.